Welcome back, and with us live now over the phone is our prominent guest, Mr. Amr Abdel Rahman, the political economic analyst and writer also. Good morning, Mr. Abdel Rahman.
Well, good morning to you. Hello to you and the dear viewers, and congratulations for the anniversary of the great patriotic and lead.
Thank you, sir. Our real pleasure. So, of course, there was a meeting or a trilateral conference in Asmara between President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the Eritrean President Isaias Afwerki, and the Somali President Hassan Sheikh Mohammed on Thursday. Of course, this is one piece of news that could bring a lot of optimism to us in the region. There is solidarity here between three major countries on partnership, and also there were talks about tripartite coalition between the three countries. If you like to shed light over this meeting between the three.
It was only declared that President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi will be by the Eritrean President, Mr. Isaias Afwerki, for a summit that was declared as officially declared. But suddenly, the summit has become a triangle summit with the joining of President of Somalia. That was a surprising news, and of course a reason to have more optimism going through a situation that is escalating day after day. The summit was a clear and a strong message that Egypt will not surrender its rights and are defending not only our own rights, historical rights, and the rights of our own national security, for the water national security, not only the Egyptian, the rights of waters and the independence of all the independence of decision of all the countries around the a clear message that Egypt is regaining its role in Africa as it was in the 50s and 60s. That role, and together Egypt, Somalia, and others that are friendly to our leadership can build a base for cooperation all together. I wouldn't call it a coalition, but it's a cooperation and cooperating situation to be established, to be joined by all of the countries in Africa. We are all in Africa are up against a situation, and a historical situation. We are at the final struggle against the greeds of the colonization powers from the east and the west. We don't have the luxury of time to waste. In a matter of 10 years, more than 30 military bases were cultivated in the African Horn only, and all of them, without exception, an enemy war, an enemy military base against the interests of the African Horn countries, and of course against Egypt's best interests, without exception. I say this because the Ethiopian regime, which we have a situation against its own greed in Nile Basin, despite we are keeping and preserving strong relations with the Ethiopian nation as a very important line to be tackling upon. Have a strong relations with the Ethiopian nation. We are only having this situation with the Ethiopian regime that has worked all of the foreign military bases. Why? But all of a sudden, only when Egypt has decided to move there or to send some weapons or to help the Somalian solidarity, then he has stepped upon his toes and disapproved that action, that Egyptian action. That means military bases are supporting the Ethiopian greed, threatening our own national security, whether in the Red Sea or in African Horn or at large. The African backyard, which means a lot to our own national security. I don't need to remind or to refresh the memories of the dear viewers that Egypt, all over its history, had a very important, strong policies that would preserve the loyalty of all the countries around the Nile Basin to the Egyptian administration, to keep on to help protecting the national security of all the countries, and of course the leading country, which is Egypt.
Right. Of course, there were talks in this meeting or a press conference about establishing a tripartite or a trilateral coalition or solidarity between the countries. Of course, they talked about priorities like support stability in Somalia, strengthen capabilities of the federal government. They also talked about the need to adhere to fundamental principles of law in regional stability, affecting regional stability. They also talked about the sovereignty and territorial integrity of countries and independence of these countries and rejection of any external affairs under any condition. These are all very important values that need to be implemented. About Somalia fighting terrorism also, and Egypt offered even to contribute to peacekeeping efforts inside Somalia. So all those principles or those points in order, how do you put them in order, and how do you assess all those points from your view?
As you strongly mentioned that we're talking about the stability and the independence, the African countries against the greeds of the colonization powers, that or those greeds that are supported by followers to the Western and Eastern powers that their own best interest against our own best interest in the continent. The Asian powers have changed their strategies. Instead of invading countries, their nations, they have using the economical forces, the economical forces. Instead of the armed forces. That's why we have witnessed a vicious project that is cultivated in Barbara port at the Somaliland, that is not recognized whether by the international law or any country in the whole world except Ethiopia, the Ethiopian regime. We are talking supporting with military aid, with economical investments, whether the Ethiopian or the unrecognized country up from Somalia. By the way, the Somalian nation, one of the oldest, most ancient nations, one of the important roots of this. So we need to stand together, side by side, shoulder to shoulder. The war of independence are not over yet. We are still at the peak of this struggle, the 50s and the 60s and the 70s and all until now. We should realize this. The regimes in Africa, in our neighbors' countries, should realize that this colonization powers will never stop until we cut their hands and we step on their greeds in our own continent. We all have witnessed how the gold mine and uranium mines the uranium mines and the gold mines in Darfur, also in Sudan, is directly targeted with the coup, the military coup that was terroristic militia, the rapid support that is supported by other regional countries and countries to the east and countries from the west to undermine the stability of the North Sudan after 10 years from dividing Sudan into a northern country and a southern country. And I don't believe that we can accept the existence of a regime, a terroristic regime to our own southern border. This is out of the question. Such actions will be, I'm sure it will be, taking action against it to eliminate the threat without negotiation, without diplomatic wars. We can diplomatic talks. Our own national security is threatened by of creating a terroristic country supported by the colonization powers.
Right. On that note, Mr. Amr Abdel Rahman, our political and economic analyst, would like to thank you, sir, talking to us today on the Breakfast Show. Many thanks. We're going to go to a short break and we'll come to continue the show, so stay with us.